What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Classic Chronicles. I hope everybody enjoyed their weekend and is ready to conquer the week that is. Again, the holiday season is in full swing. I hope everybody is celebrating it safely and with the ones that they love, man. But for right now, let's get into today's vlog. And today we're gonna talk a little bit about wrestling, man. We're gonna talk NXT Deadline. This year's NXT Deadline went down this past Saturday from the Total Mortgage Arena in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Um, there was one pre-match show, and that was Axiom against Nathan Frazier. Now, if you don't know a lot about these two are two of the very best up and coming high flyers in the game today, man. I can watch them go at it for days. Yeah, man. Like, what do you call it? Contrary to what everybody thinks about ratings and all this other crap that doesn't really matter. In the end, all you want is good storytelling and good action to match that storytelling. Yeah, man. Despite all of that, NXT always delivers on their premium live events, and this is the last premium live event this year. Yeah, it did not disappoint. So, like I said, Axiom defeated Nathan Frazier. Nathan Frazier, of course, trained by Seth Rollins, and Axiom cut his teeth all over the world before coming to the WWE. So, good on both of them. And then on the main show, before the action got started, there was an opening segment with Shawn Michaels, who's the head of NXT, and CM Punk. So, as you may not know by now, if haven't been keeping up with professional wrestling, CM Punk is officially back in the WWE after a 10-year hiatus, and he's just making the rounds right about now. But this upcoming Monday night on Raw, he will decide where he wants to sign, whether it be a SmackDown, NXT, or ECW. Or SmackDown Raw or NXT. Oh my God. Yeah, that was the last time he was in WWE. No, I'm just kidding. But no. So CM Punk will decide where he wants to sign, and all signs show him signing to Raw. All signs point to him signing to Raw due to the whole Seth Rollins thing, and you don't want to have too much star power on one show. I mean, Randy Orton is already on SmackDown, so it wouldn't make any sense to put him on SmackDown. But like I said, I could be wrong, or he may just swerve us all and go to NXT. Who the hell knows? We'll have to see what happens Monday night on Raw. So yeah, or tonight, yeah, as you're listening to this tonight on Raw. What do you call it? Anyway, the show get kicked off with the NXT Deadline pay per view kicked off with a championship match. It had Dirty Dominic Mysterio, son of legendary superstar Rey Mysterio, taking on Dragon Lee for the NXT North American Championship. And like it or not, despite the heat that he gets, Dom's been the MVP of WWE this year, man. He has gone all over from SmackDown and Raw to NXT to live events. He's just doing it all. Anything you ask him to do, he does it, and that's what you want to do in this business, man. Especially when you're working for a place like WWE, man. You don't want to. You kind of want to do everything that's asked of you, and impress everybody. And Dom has done that. But in this particular case, the North American Championship switched hands as Dragon Lee was able to pin Dominic Mysterio to gain his first championship in WWE. Which is cool, and I love that they're sending more main roster stars down to NXT to not only boost ratings but to kind of give the younger up and coming next generation of stars advice and tutelage and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty cool initiative by Triple H. Next up was the first of two Iron Survivor matches. First was the women. The concept of an Iron Survivor match is basically it's an Iron Man match, which you have to earn earn the most amount of falls in a set time limit. In this case, it's 25 minutes, but there is an added element. Normally, Iron Man matches are one on one or Iron Woman matches are one on one, those types of matches. But this involves five superstars, and the person who gets pinned must go to the penalty box for 90 seconds. So it's a fray of not only trying to score the most pinfalls in a set time limit, but making sure you don't get pinned. Because the more time you spend in the penalty box, the easier it is for your competitors to gain falls and can certainly put the match out of reach if executed correctly. But as for these women, man, you had Blair Davenport, you had Kalani Jordan, you had Lash Legend, you had Tiffany Stratton, and you had uh, Fallon Henley, and Blair Davenport ended up winning the women's Iron Survivor match, and that means she will get a shot at the NXT Women's Championship coming up at New Year's Eve, which is the first NXT show of the new year. It's a TV taping. So she will be going up against Lyra Valkyria for the NXT Women's Championship. Uh, next up was next up after the Women's Iron Survivor match was uh, was Carmelo Hayes taking on Lexis King. Now, Lexis King, for those of you who may or may not know, is Brian Pillman's Brian Pillman's son, Brian Pillman Jr. He wanted to when he left AEW, he kind of wanted to shed the Brian Pillman name and kind of carve out his own path, which is understandable. But there are always going to be those comparisons to his father because of just because of who his father was and how great he was. But kudos to Brian for stepping out on his own and trying to do his own thing. But and as far as Carmelo Hayes, man, huge bright future ahead of Carmelo Hayes. I'm a huge fan. I can watch him work all day, every day. Um, I've been following his career since he was on the Indies when he was known as Christian Casanova. So yeah, it's been a while for me and Carmelo, but yeah. Yeah, great match between the two of them, man. And there's a little bit of a story of this match. Trick Williams, who is Carmelo Hayes' right hand man. He's been accused of attacking Carmelo Hayes and trying to take him out, but Carmelo's kind of letting that get to his head. But in the end, cooler heads prevailed with those two, and now Carmelo Hayes trusts Trick Williams again, and gave Lexis King a match at the show last night, and which Lexis King ended up coming out on the short end of. But hey, like he said after the match, thanks for the pay per view rub. I thought that was kind of clever, that line. I didn't attack you, and it wasn't me who's been attacking you all these weeks. But thanks for the pay per view rub, the NXT deadline rub, which I thought was pretty cool. But anyway, yeah. So Carmelo Hayes picking up the win there with the move that he calls nothing but net. It's pretty cool. And then after that you had the men's Iron Survivor match. Same concept as the women, but this time around for the men, you had Trick Williams, you had Josh Briggs, you had Dijak, you had hold on. Hold on one second. Let me think. Trick Williams, Dijak, uh, um, Josh Briggs. Uh, who the hell was the other two in the match? Oh, Braun Breaker and who's the fifth? The fifth guy in that match. Hold on one second. Let me look. I have it in my notes. Oh my god, this is embarrassing. One second. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Tyler Bate. Oh my God, how can I forget Tyler Bate? Okay, here we go. So, yeah, so Josh Briggs, Tyler Bate, Trick Williams, Braun Breaker, and Dijak were in the Iron Survivor men's matchup. Man, of course, Trick Williams came in. He wasn't getting any falls, but by the time Braun Breaker came in there, he just tore through everybody and got like three quick falls, and you thought that he wasn't gonna be caught, but a lot of other shenanigans happened, and Trick Williams ended up getting the win, man, and he is now gonna get a shot at the NXT Championship, which we will talk about in a minute. In a minute, but before we do that, we're gonna talk about the other match that was before the main event, which was Kiana James taking on Roxanne Perez in a steel cage match. Kiana James and Roxanne Perez have been going at it tooth and nail, and it's time for them to settle their differences in a way that only WWE knows how. Or the old I shouldn't say the only way WWE knows how, but the old fashioned tried and true way of settling one's differences in the wrestling business, and that is a steel cage match. So anyway, Kiana James ended up picking up the win with the Raw deal, thanks to Izzy Drake or something. I don't know. I forgot what Izzy Day. Yeah, Izzy Day. I guess she was a fan of friend of Roxanne Perez's, but I guess she turned heel. I'm not too familiar with that particular situation, but that's what happened. But and then in your main event, it was Ilya Dragunov, the NXT champion, defending against Baron Corbin. Now, Baron Corbin, of course, has been on the main roster for the last like decade, I think, consistently. And let's be honest, he was kind of flailing on the main roster, but I think him going back down to NXT to kind of reinvent his career and give that spark back to his career was a great decision by all involved, and he's certainly thriving. And even though he didn't get the job done this time around, I do certainly hope that he does have even if it's just a like small run with the NXT Championship. I think he deserves it. I think he should have won the NXT Championship before he got called up to the main roster. But as you know, things go quickly when you're in WWE. They see your talent in you, they're ready to immediately put you on the road. Without that much seasoning. But sometimes it works, but sometimes you got to stay down at NXT to get a little more seasoning on your belt. And some of these guys just get called up too quick, and then in essence get lost in the shuffle on the main roster. But yeah. But no, anyway, Ilya Dragunov hit the Moscow Missile, which is a flying punch, and got the best of Baron Corbin to retain his NXT Championship. And like I said, great show. NXT always puts on great shows, and yeah, so definitely check out Deadline if you haven't. It's the replay is streaming now on Peacock, and if you live outside the United States, the WWE Network. So definitely check it out if you get the chance. Yeah, so that's gonna do it for this episode of the Classic Chronicles. Like, subscribe, share. Don't forget to hit that notification button so you don't miss a video. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.